U.S. stocks, they slipped into negative territory Friday, with Boeing dragging the Dow Jones lower as investors took a break just one day after both the Dow and S&P 500 closed at fresh highs. Now, first on the economic front, producer prices, they gained 0.8% in June, edging well past expectations calling for 0.5%. Meanwhile, core producer prices, which do exclude volatile energy and food costs, they edged higher 0.2%. At the same time, the Thomson Reuters University of Michigan survey of consumer preliminary confidence sentiment, that index fell to a total of 83.9 from the final June figure of 84.1. And with European shares paring their earlier gains to close slightly lower, shares in Asia trading cautiously, and the dollar soaring against its counterparts, it looked to be quite the interesting and volatile finish for the Dow Jones for not only the session, but the week as well. Still, the major averages today were poised to close sharply higher for the week, with the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 on track to post their second best weekly gains this year. The Dow Jones Industrial Average slid into the red in the late afternoon trading session, led by Boeing. Bank of America and Travelers, they led the gainers. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq also edged lower, and the Volatility Index, that traded near 14. In a breakdown of today's major market movers, we first have to begin with Boeing, which tumbled sharply to lead the Dow laggards, suffering its worst one-day drop in nearly 2 years. This after the UK's Heathrow Airport said it had closed both of its runways after a fire aboard an Ethiopian 787 Dreamliner. Amongst earnings, J.P. Morgan Chase edged higher after the Dow component and the largest U.S. bank by deposits beat expectations on both revenue as well as earnings. The company reported profit of $1.60 a share against estimates of $1.44 a share. Wells Fargo also on the upside after the company topped the street on both ends, posting earnings of 98 cents a share against expectations of 93 cents, and revenue at $21.4 billion against $21.21 billion. And WebMD today spiking more than 0.25% after the health information provider said it expects to post its first profit in 6 quarters. This thanks mostly in part to increased revenue from its public portals in the second quarter.